Mode 4. The Lydian scale. This is the fourth in the series of tutorials we've been doing on the modal scales. So far we've looked at the Ionian or the major scale, the Dorian scale and the Phrygian scale. So let's continue with the Lydian. Today we'll be looking at the F Lydian scale. And like the previous modal scales we've looked at, this scale is in the key of C. The reason it's called the F Lydian scale is because it starts and finishes on the F note. The F occurs on the bottom and the top E on the 1st and 13th fret. Therefore, we can play this scale in both those positions. So, just to be clear in case you're not used to this concept, the thing that makes the scale is where it starts and finishes, and the pattern of semitones or intervals. Therefore, because both of these scales start and finish on an F note and have the same pattern, they are both called the F Lydian scale. And the pattern for the Lydian scale is 2 2 2 1 2 2 1. You can see from this illustration that each of the modes has a different pattern that is derived from the major or the Ionian scale. Hence why we've given the Lydian its own unique pattern. Right, let's learn to play the F Lydian scale. We'll start with the one in the 13th fret, and that's because as it's got no open strings, it can be transposed or moved up and down the neck quite easily. So if you want to learn and memorize one of these scales, that would be the most useful one to memorize. Okay, let's play the F Lydian scale. Play the 13th fret of your bottom E string with your second finger. Play the 15th fret of your bottom E string with your fourth finger. Play the 12th fret of the A string with your first finger. Play the 14th fret of your A string with your third finger. Play the 15th fret of the A string with your fourth finger. Play the 12th fret of the D string with your first finger. Play the 14th fret of the D string with your third finger. Play the 15th fret of your D string with your fourth finger. Play the 12th fret of your G string with your first finger. Play the 14th fret of the G string with your third finger. Play the 12th fret of your B string with your first finger. Play the 13th fret of the B string with your second finger. Play the 15th fret of the B string with your fourth finger. Play the 12th fret of the top E string with your first finger. And finally, play the 13th fret of the top E string with the second finger. Now, let's see and hear that played again more quickly with a metronome beat. Now, let's learn to play the F Lydian scale in the open position. Play the 1st fret of the bottom E string with your first finger. Play the 3rd fret of your bottom E string with your third finger. Play your A string. Play the 2nd fret of the A string with your second finger. Play the 3rd fret of the A string with your third finger. Play an open D string. Play the 2nd fret of the D string with your second finger. Play the 3rd fret of the D string with your third finger. Play an open G string. Play the second fret of the G string with your second finger. Play an open B string. Play the first fret of the B string with your first finger. Play the third fret of the B string with your third finger. Play an open top E string. Play the first fret of the top E string with your first finger. Now let's hear and see that played again a little more quickly with a metronome. If you're not familiar with either of these scales, it's more worthwhile to practice the one that starts in the 13th fret. That's because it can be transposed so easily. However, if you already know that one, or you've got a really good memory, learn both of them, because remember, the more scales you can learn and practice, the better it is for your guitar playing. If you'd find it useful to look at or print out the ebooks associated with these tutorials, you'll find a link down in the description below to eBooks for guitar, and there you'll find the printable PDF. And if you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see more like it, please subscribe and enable notifications, and that way you'll be notified when I upload new ones. Thank you very much.